The first thing you notice when your heart shatters isn't the sound. It's the silence that follows. I hadn't heard that melody in 10 years. And now, in the dim light of a New York City subway station, it's tearing me open like a wound that never healed. I froze, clutching my coffee like it could anchor me. People rushed past, heels clattering, conversations buzzing, but the only thing I could hear was the haunting sound of his violin. Every note sliced through the chaos, threading its way straight into my chest. Couldn't be him. Shouldn't be him. But when he lifted his head, when those dark eyes, those goddamn eyes met mine, the world just stopped. Ethan. The name crashed into me like a wave, dragging memories I'd buried so deep I thought they died. The laughter in sunlit fields, the taste of rain on his lips, the fight that ended it all, the promise I broke, the goodbye I never forgave myself for. And now, there he was alive, real, standing in front of me like fate decided to play a cruel joke. He didn't smile, didn't even flinch, just kept playing, as if I were nothing but another stranger throwing pennies into his case. But I saw it flicker, the storm in his gaze before he looked away. 10 years, and he still hated me. Or maybe, worse, maybe he felt nothing at all. I took a step forward, heart pounding so loud I thought everyone could hear it. Ethan, I whispered. It slipped out before I could stop it, carried by something raw and desperate inside me. His fingers faltered for half a second on the strings. Half a second, but it was enough. Then he straightened, kept playing, and didn't look up again. God, what the hell was I supposed to do? Walk away? Pretend I hadn't just seen the ghost of my past life breathing in front of me? No, couldn't. Not again. I'd let him go once. I wasn't about to let history repeat itself. By the time the last note faded into the station's hollow echo, my coffee was cold in my hands. He packed his violin slowly, deliberately, like every motion was calculated to keep me waiting. And damn it, I did wait. Because the truth was brutal and simple. I'd rather stand here forever than risk missing my second chance. When he finally turned to leave, I moved. Ethan. My voice broke, sharp enough to make a couple of commuters glance over. He stopped, didn't turn, just stood there with his back to me. For a second, I wondered if he'd walk away, if this was karma kicking me in the teeth one last time. But then, in the softest voice I'd ever heard him use, he said, "Don't call me that," and walked up the stairs without looking back. It took everything in me not to run after him. My chest burned like someone had poured fire into my lungs. I wanted to scream, to shake him, to tell him I was sorry for every mistake I made when we were young and stupid and thought love could survive anything. But the truth was, apologies wouldn't erase the scars I left. Words wouldn't rewind time. So I did the only thing I could. I followed him. The night air hit me like a slap as I emerged onto the street. The city glowed in neon and headlights. And there he was, tall, lean, hair catching the breeze like ink spilling in water. My heart stumbled. He moved fast, slipping through crowds like a shadow. And I, in my expensive suit and polished shoes, felt like a fool chasing ghosts. But I didn't care. Couldn't care. Because every instinct screamed the same truth. If I let him vanish now, he'd be gone forever. And I'd already lived one lifetime without him. Why are you following me? His voice cut through the night like a blade when he finally stopped, spinning around under the glow of a street lamp. God, he looked the same. Older, yes. Sharper around the edges. But those eyes, they were still the same storm I drowned in years ago. My throat locked. How the hell do you explain to someone that seeing them again feels like fate handing you a do-over? You what? His jaw tightened. You think you can just show up after 10 years and what? Fix everything. Pretend you didn't destroy me. The words hit harder than any punch. I never stopped loving you, I said. And it was the truth. Raw and ugly and bleeding between us. For a heartbeat. He froze. And then laughed. Bitter. Broken. Like glass shattering in the dark. His laugh sliced through me like a knife. Love. He spat. Eyes blazing. Don't you dare use that word. You don't get to. Ethan. Stop calling me that. His voice cracked. Shattering the wall of indifference he'd tried so hard to keep. People walking by slowed. Curious. But neither of us cared. This wasn't a conversation for an audience. It was a war we'd both been avoiding for a decade. You don't know what it was like. He whispered. But his whisper felt louder than the roar of traffic around us. Waiting. Hoping you'd come back. Believing every damn lie you told me until the day I realized you weren't coming. My breath caught. It wasn't like that. I didn't leave because I wanted to. Then why? His voice broke this time. Softer. Raw. Why did you vanish? I could have lied. Said something to make it easier. But the truth was ugly. And he deserved it. My father. I said. Tasting the bitterness of that word. He threatened to ruin you. Said if I didn't walk away, he'd destroy your life. And I was 22 and stupid and thought sacrificing us would save you. For a long, suffocating moment, he just stared at me. Rain beginning to mist in the glow of the streetlights. You think that makes it better. His voice was trembling now. You think that erases 10 years of silence. 10 years of me wondering if I wasn't enough. You were everything, I said, stepping closer because if I didn't touch him now, I might never get the chance again. You are everything. He turned away, hands gripping the violin case like it was the only thing keeping him upright. Don't. Just don't do this to me again. The first drop of rain slid down my cheek. Cold and cruel. Then another. And another. Until the city blurred into silver streaks and the air smelled like electricity and second chances. I reached for him. My fingers hovered. Trembling. Before brushing his sleeve. He didn't pull away. Let me explain. I pleaded. Let me fight for you this time. His breath hitched. But he didn't look at me. And if I let you in again, if I trust you and you leave, I won't. The words were iron. Heavy with everything I'd carried all these years. Not even death could make me leave you again. He finally turned. His face was wet, maybe rain. Maybe tears. Maybe both. And when his eyes met mine, the anger was still there. But beneath it was something I hadn't seen in a decade. A flicker of hope. You're a bastard. He whispered. I know. I said, smiling through the ache in my chest. But I'm your bastard. If you'll have me. And then God help Mayhay kissed me. Hard. Desperate. Like every unsaid word. Every sleepless night. Every ache of the last 10 years had been waiting for this exact second. The city spun away. There was only him, his mouth. His hands clutching my jacket. The violin case clattering to the wet pavement. When we finally broke apart. Breathless. He rested his forehead against mine. You ruin me. He said softly. I'll spend the rest of my life making that up to you. I promised. Hours later, we sat in his tiny apartment. Both of us wrapped in blankets. The storm still rattling the windows. He made tea because of course he did. Because some things never change. His violin rested on the couch between us like a silent witness. "I still play the piece you wrote," he said quietly, staring into his mug. My heart twisted. "You kept it. It's the only part of you I had left." His voice cracked, and before I could think, I reached across and took his hand. He didn't pull away this time. We talked until dawn about everything and nothing. About the years we lost and the life we could still have. There were no grand promises. No sweeping declarations. Just two people who'd broken each other once and were terrified of doing it again. But under all the fear was something fierce and undeniable. We still loved each other. When the sun finally broke through the clouds, painting his face in gold, I knew this was what forgiveness felt like. Not erasing the past, but choosing to build something new in spite of it. And for the first time in 10 years, the music in my chest was louder than the silence. Weeks later, the world moved on, as it always does. But in the dim light of the subway station, if you were lucky, you could catch the sound of a violin soft, aching, full of love. And if you looked closely, you might see two men standing close, their fingers intertwined, like they'd finally found their way home. Because some stories don't end. They just start over. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.